Good morning, everyone. Today's topic, Day 5, Chapter Classification of Periodic Elements. We're gonna start with the last topic, that is your valence and valency of electron in the periodic classification. What is its strength? Before that, we'll understand what is valence electron. It is the number of outermost electron present in its valence shell, that is called as valence electron. So what is valence electron? It is the number of electron present in outermost shell, right? That is called as a valence electron. And what is valency on the contrast? It is a tendency of an element to gain an electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. So what is it? It is a tendency to lose or to gain electron to achieve noble gas configuration. So that is called as a valency. So now we are going to discuss about valence and the valency and its strengths. So valence electron, when we move along a period, so if we have a period number 1, 2, 3, 4, means all the horizontal lines, right? So let us take an example to illustrate it. We have sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and argon. So if we start from here, it belongs to group number 1, it belongs to group number 2, it belongs to 13, 14, 15 and goes on to 18. So as we move along a period, number of valence electron increases. Why? Because it has a configuration of 281, it has a 282, right? It has 283, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So when we move along a period, the number of valence electron is going to increase. So valence electron trend, when we move along a period, it increases. While when we move down a group, if I move down a group, means the vertical lines, the number of valence electron remains same. So let us take an example to illustrate it. If we have hey, lily, na, kar, rab, kasam, fraud. So what does it mean? You have one electron in outermost shell in all these cases. This is a periodicity we have discussed in the starting of the chapter. So valence electron remains same. If I take another example, be mangat ka sarbhara, right? So what does it mean? It has 2 electrons in outermost shell. So all these understanding make us clear that valence electron increases when we move along a period, and the valence electron remains same when we move down a group. The second terminology we have to discuss is a valency and its periodic classification. When we move along a period, the valency means tendency to lose or to gain electron to achieve a noble gas. So if we have a valence electron 1, 2 and 3 respectively, they would have a same valency of 1 and 2, 3, because they would be losing 1, 2 and 3 electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. Similarly, 4 is neither going to lose, neither going to share electron, while that of a 5, 6 and 7, they would be gaining the 3, 2 and 1 electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. So if I say along a period, the valence electron firstly increases, then it decreases to 3, 2 and 1. Next, while when we move across a group, right, down a group, then what will happen? It will remain same. If it is 1, 1, 1, तो आपका कुल अगर valence electron 1 हैगा, it is going to have 1 electron, 1 valency 2. If it is 2, it is going to have a 2. If it is going 3, so it remains same along a group, and it firstly increases to that of a 3 and then decreases to that of a 3, 2, 1 and 0, because noble gases neither have a tendency to lose electron, neither to gain electron. So this is the way how we do the valence and the valence electron and its periodic classification. Now we are going to discuss about the anomalous properties. Anomalous properties of group second elements. So what does it mean? Aluminous properties means the difference in properties. What is the difference? Ki why these second period elements always shows a difference in their properties as compared to their group numbers? Let us illustrate. You have a lithium, you have a boron, you have a beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. These are the elements which are present in our second period elements. So they would be different from their group members. How? The lithium won't be resembled with the properties of sodium, neither with the potassium, while beryllium do not resemble with the calcium or magnesium. The beryllium do not resemble with the boron, do not resemble, carbon do not resemble, while nitrogen do not resemble. Why they have a difference in properties? That is called as anomalous properties. So the second period elements, they do not show the similar properties. So to illustrate, to understand it, we have another topic that is called as a diagonal relationship. Let us understand what is a diagonal relationship, as the name indicates. So what is diagonal? Matlab tircha. Something which is like this, that is called as a diagonal, right? So the similarity in the properties of element present diagonally is called as diagonal relationship, as the name indicates. So what is it? It is the similarities, right, in properties of elements present diagonally. That is called as diagonal relationship. Let's illustrate group number 1, group number 2, group number 3 or 13 and group number 14. You have lithium, you have sodium, you have beryllium, you have magnesium, you have boron, you have aluminium, you have a carbon, you have a silicon. So the properties of lithium would be resembling with magnesium, beryllium with that of aluminium and boron with that of a silicon. So this is a diagonal, right? So for example, metallic radius and the ionic radius of lithium are close to magnesium. Similarly for the beryllium and aluminium. So let us illustrate with, you have metallic radius. Lithium has a metallic radius of 152 while beryllium has that of a 111 and boron has as that of a 88. While that of a sodium has 186, magnesium has 160 and aluminium has 143. So this is almost the same, while there is a difference because of either you can say for the quantum number, but we were saying that there is similarity in the properties when moved diagonally. So the anomalous behavior of first elements, first members of the each group is compared to the other members is due. So what is the reason behind it? The first is your small size. Very important topic, the diagonal relationship. It is because of the small size of atom or ion. The second one is your large charge, right, or to radius ratio. The third one is your high electronegatividity. And the fourth one is your non-availability of d orbital. It is non-availability of d orbital. Jadi d orbital हैगा, it is not available. That's why diagonal relationship occurs. Why there is a similarity? Why they have anomalous property? There are 4 reasons behind it. Small size of atom. क्योंकि when we move down a group, they are the smallest one. When we move down, group size increases. So the second one is your charge size, large charge upon radius ratio. They have a radius ratio, large charge, right? High electronegatividity, they have a tendency to, jinna chota atom, they have a more electronegatividity, they have a tendency to gain the shared pair of electron toward itself. And the fourth is non-availability of d orbital. If I say that of a sodium, if I say that of a potassium, they have a d orbitals, right? ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਡੀ ਆਰਬਿਟਲ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ, ਬਟ ਅਗਰ ਉਹਦੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਸ਼ੈਲ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਡੀ ਆਰਬਿਟਲ ਹੈਗਾ। ਵਾਈਲ ਅਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਲਿਥੀਅਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੂਰ ਦੂਰ ਡੀ ਆਰਬਿਟਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ। ਕਿਉਂ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 1s2 2s1, ਰਾਈਟ, ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਕਨਫਿਗਰੇਸ਼ਨ। 2s ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਊਗਾ 2p, 2p ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਊਗਾ 3s, 3s ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਊਗਾ 3d, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਇਟ ਹੈਜ਼ ਅ lot many next excited state would be great. So they have a non-availability of d orbital. So this 4 points you need to remember by heart. but the core of your heart. These are the 4 points: small size of atom or ion, large charge upon radius ratio, high electronegatividity, and non-availability of d orbital. This is something which will be there in your whole class, right? The 4 reasons behind it. So the first member differs from the succeeding member in some of the properties. Let us take an example how it is different to that of a sodium. As we go down a group, the size goes on increasing. Therefore, the first member of each group have a smaller size. अगर मैं गल करा lithium ते sodium दी, when we move down a group, size क्या करता है? Increase करता है. So these are the smallest member. Is it right? बिल्कुल सही है. Right? Next, we have an example that is your, because of small size, the first member has high ionization enthalpy. Either size small है, right? Second, small size के कारण high ionization enthalpy है. It has a high IE. And ionization enthalpy decreases down group as the size increases. Ionization enthalpy decreases. The third point, all the elements of second period have abnormally low negative electron gain enthalpy, right? So they have a low negative electron gain enthalpy. Why? They won't be having tendency to gain the electron to achieve a noble gas, right? Next, you have the small size of atom results in natively high cohesive power, association, metallic, strong intermetallic bonding is going to be high. On the other hand, large atoms have a weak bonds. जिन्ना बड़ा साइज उन्नी जल्दी टूटूगा. अगर मेरे को एक छोटा चौक है, एक बड़ा चौक है, जो छोटा चौक है वो जल्दी टूटूगा नहीं. आई हैव टू अप्लाई ज्यादा एनर्जी, while that of a big chalk I have to apply less energy because it can be easily dissociated, so it has a weak bonds. The fifth point, the first member of high electronegatividity as compared to the members of the group, therefore it has a greater tendency to form covalent bonds. As it is small in size, it do not have any kind of tendency. It has a tendency to form a covalent bond, so this would be exception that all these members would be making a covalent bonds. The first member of the group has no vacant d orbitals, which will lead to the non-excitation, so there won't be any shell. First member, d p orbital, they display a greater ability to form p pi multiple. So this is the exception that all these will form p pi multiple bonds. That will study in your 4th chapter. What are p pi bonds? So these are the some trends due to the diagonal relationship and its abnormal behavior from that of other group members. Now we are going to discuss about the periodic trends in periodic table. What is periodic trends? As we see that there are high chemical reactivity at two ends. First of all, these are metals. If I say S block element, then you have a D block element, then you have a P block element. In P block element, if I talk about group number 15, 16 and 17, then you have a noble gases. These are the one of the most reactive one. These are the one of the most reactive one. Why? Because these have a tendency to lose 1 or 2 electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. While that of on the contrary, you have 15, 16 and 17. These would be most reactive. Why? They have a tendency to gain electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. So these two extreme ends and the lowest, right, in the center, the reactivity would be the lowest in the center, while that of extreme end, the reactivity is going to be the maximum. Thus, maximum chemical reactivity at the extreme left is exhibited by the easy loss of electron. They can easily lose electron, right? That's why they are forming a cation. इस करके वो cation बनाएंगे and they have a maximum reactivity. This property of losing or gaining electron can be related with the oxidizing and the reducing behavior of elements. So, if I say about these, they have a tendency to lose electron, they would be considered as a metal. These have a tendency to gain electron, that's why they would be considered as a non-metal, right? So, the metallic character decreases down the along a period. So, इथे आपका कोई metal नहीं, aha मेरे कोई non-metal नहीं. So, what I got to know that the non-metallic character is highest. Right, the non-metallic character is the highest towards the right and metallic character is highest towards the left. So let's see the second period elements. You have lithium, you have beryllium, you have boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. So carbon to that of a neon, these are non-metals. Right, while lithium and beryllium, these are considered as a metal, while boron is considered as a metalloid. So what is metalloid? Basically, which has a property of that of a metal and a non-metal, that is called as a metalloid. So similarly with the third period elements, you have have a sodium, you have magnesium, and you have aluminium. Then you have a silicon, you have sulfur, chlorine, and argon. So these are non-metals, these are metals. And what is silicon? It is a metalloid, right? So it has a property intermediate with that of a metal and a non-metal. So what we conclude from here, that metallic character, right, it decreases when we move along a period, and non-metallic character it increases when we move along a period. इधर नो जाते हुए नॉन मेटल बन रहे ने, while left hand side are metal in nature. So the chemical reactivity of element can be best shown by the reaction with the oxygen and with that of a halogens. So let us clear with an example to illustrate it. While if I say on the extreme left, they would be a basic oxide. हमेशा एक चीज याद रखनी है, metal the oxides are always basic in nature and non-metal the oxide are acidic in nature. So extreme left they are going to be basic. If I say sodium, sodium oxide is most basic in nature, whereas oxide formed by the right hand side, मतलब non-metal the जेडे oxides होंगे, they would be acidic in nature. They would be acidic in nature. So let us understand with an example. You have sodium oxide, you have magnesium oxide, you have aluminium oxide, you have silicon oxide, you have phosphorus pentoxide, SO3, and similarly Cl2O7, right? According to the valency they have been arranged. You have a strongly basic, right? This is going to be basic, this is going to be amphoteric, right? This is going to be weakly acidic, this is going to be acidic, this is going to be strongly acidic, and this is going to be very strongly acidic. So what does it mean? कि basic character decrease ਹੁੰਦਾ है, acidic character increase ਹੁੰਦਾ है, and this is amphoteric, which has a property of a metal, of a basic and a acidic properties. So it can intermediate between the two. So these are very extreme basic in nature on the left hand side. So all the metal oxides are basic in nature and non-metal oxides are going to be acidic in nature, and the acidic character is going to increase when moving along a period. Okay, so as we move down a group, let us illustrate what we want to say. अगर मैं move कर रही है down a group, then what will happen? Right, so you have lithium oxide, sodium oxide, and potassium oxide. These are going to be basic in nature, so it means the basic character is going to increase when we move down a group. While that of a simple with the beryllium oxide, magnesium oxide, and the calcium oxide, this is amphoteric in nature, while this is basic in nature, and this calcium oxide is also basic in nature, right? So basic character are towards this, and the acidic character increases along a period, while when we move down a group, the basic character increases. खुद सोचो, when the size increases, they would be considered as a more metal, because size increase करूँगा, they have a more tendency to lose electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. If they have a more tendency to lose electron, they would be more basic, they would be metals, right? So basic character decreases, increases down a group, and the acidic character decreases down the group. So you have the further transition metals. If I take another example of a transition, what is transition element? 3D elements are called as transition, while the 4f and 5f orbital, they are called as a 3D or D orbitals are called transition elements, and f block element are called as inner transition element. The change in atomic radius is much smaller as compared to the representative elements. मतलब S और P block नालों इनका दा जेड़ा size difference हैगा, it is very less. As a result, D and F block are less electropositive than the group 1 and 2. So these are less electropositive. So we are not talk about these thing elements. Why? Because they would be less reactive as compared to the representative elements, as compared to the S and the P block elements. Let us do some conceptual questions to make the chapter more clear, otherwise the chapter is over. How would you explain the fact the first ionization enthalpy of sodium is less than that of a magnesium, but its second ionization enthalpy is higher than that of a magnesium? What does the question say? Why the first ionization enthalpy of magnesium higher, while that of second of sodium higher? So let us understand. First of all, you should be knowing magnesium and sodium configuration. Sodium has atomic number 11, so it has a configuration of simple, if I say 281. अगर आप सिंपलीफाइड ही डिस्कस करिए 1s2s की बजाय, अगर यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड इजिली. सिमिलरली इज अ मैग्नीशियम इज गोइंग टू हैव अ 282 configuration, right? So if I'm going to remove the one electron in the, it can easily lose one electron to achieve a noble gas configuration first of all. So it means it have the most tendency to lose electron. So the first ionization enthalpy is going to be very less, because what is ionization enthalpy? It is amount of energy required to remove an electron. ये तो बहुत ही ध्यान नाल बहुत ही जल्दी देने वास्ते तैयार बैठा है, because it want to become a noble gas. While outermost magnesium has one 3s2 configuration. If I say these two electrons have come from a 3s2. So if it is 3s2 configuration, means it would be having the s orbital is fully filled. S orbital can maximum accommodate 2 electrons, so it is a fully filled configuration. So it won't be giving its 2 electron to achieve a noble gas configuration. Is it okay? So what does magnesium do is, it will take more energy to remove those electrons because it's stable. S orbital can maximum accommodate 2 electrons and it is a stable configuration. That's why it would be having more energy to remove that electron. So suppose you have a magnesium positive that has a greater ionization enthalpy. The first is greater as compared to the sodium. While the second ionization enthalpy of sodium, that would be greater. Why it would be greater? Because sodium will be achieving a noble gas configuration of 2,8. After achieving the configuration of 2,8, it becomes a stable configuration. That's why the second ionization enthalpy of sodium would be greater as compared to magnesium, because after losing one electron, it becomes 3s1. So s orbital can easily lose electron to achieve a noble gas. तो बड़े आराम ਨਾਲ electron दोगा. So this is the question. I'll just explain you how it is here. The electronic configuration of sodium is 3s1 and magnesium is 3s2. The configuration of magnesium is more stable than that of a sodium. Therefore, the first ionization enthalpy of magnesium is more than that of a sodium. After the loss of electron from the sodium, it requires a configuration of noble gas neon of 1s2, 2s2 and 2p6. On the other hand, magnesium has a neon 3s1 configuration. Thus, the electronic configuration of sodium is more stable as compared to the magnesium one. Okay, the next question, very important. If I say on my point of view, this is a very important question. Why beryllium has a higher ionization enthalpy than boron? Okay, so giving you time to understand how it is so. Just remember the configuration of beryllium first. So beryllium has a configuration of 1s2, 2s2, while boron has a configuration of 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. Right? So the larger the delta H enthalpy of beryllium as compared to boron is due to its electronic configuration, as I have discussed in this case. S orbital can maximum accommodate 2 electron and it is filled. It would behave like a stable. While p orbital, either it has to be half filled or it has to be fully filled to be more stable.